think they have something for them planned for later on. And really is that it's kind of still early for them to lose the titles, so I'm got to give it to Cesaro and Kid to retain.
And Joe, your pick.
Well, you know what? I'm going to surprise everybody, and it's because of the one fact we've seen everybody you mentioned in this in this match has won the tag titles except for the New Day. I think with all the controversies that go on, especially with topics of racism, I think what you're going to see is the New Day is going to pull out the win. They'll be transitional champions, but for a breath of fresh air, they have to give it to a new team.
All right. Fair enough. Lance, over to you.
I'm going title retention by Cesaro and Tyson Kidd. 3 reasons. 1, the Los Matadores still get outstaged by a midget. 2, New Day way too green. 3, one of the Usos is hurt. So, they retain.
All right. And, well, we're going to move on now to the Andre the Giant Battle Royal. Now, I don't even know all the guys that's in this thing. I know Ryback's in there. I know Miz and Mizdow are in there, which is probably just setting up for a storyline. I think there is a rumor, a possibility of Sheamus showing up. So let's, if I have to have a pick for this winner, if it's not going to be Sheamus, I could see maybe even Ryback doing it. This kind of a match is always one of those coin tossers. So, Joe, I'm going to kick it over to you.
You know, it's good that they brought back Battle Royals. That was missing a lot. It used to be with the old WrestleMania, but there's one person that is going to win, and in my opinion, he's been getting the most pops. He's been getting the fans are solidly behind him, Damien Sandow. And it will bridge more the situation. I could see him and Miz being the last 2 guys in there. Miz says, well, you're the stunt double. Throw yourself over the top rope. Miz, they even will play the gimmick. Well, Miz will make believe to throw himself over the top. Damien Sandow will make believe to throw himself over the top and eliminate Miz. It has to be Sandow because he's getting such a big pop.
Okay. Now, do you expect Sheamus to appear in this match, or is that a yes or a no?
No, I expect to see him on Monday Night Raw.
All right. Lance, over to you.
Well, James, I do have one of my prop bets. Mm-hmm. The split between Mizdow and Miz, the big riff will happen in this match. And, let's see, winner, just to be a smart ass, I'm going Axelmania.
Axelmania. All right. Well, James, I'm going to kick that over to you. Who's your pick, and do you think Sheamus will appear?
This is a hard one, really. You see the list of people. There's been at least 19 confirmed, which is Miz, Axel, Ryback, Fandango, Adam Rose, Zack Ryder, Jack Swagger, both members of Primetime Players, Big Show and Kane, Eric Rowan, Mizdow, Sin Cara. My pick's actually going to go with Mizdow because I feel like if Sheamus doesn't appear, then Mizdow will win because I think what I think Joe just said was that Mizdow and Miz will be the last 2, and then basically you need to give Mizdow a push.
All right, and Will, finally, over to you.
This is one of those days where I will not pick Axelmania, so Lance, you can go in the back and shoot yourself because Curtis Axel's not going to win.
Like I said, I'll just be a smart ass.
But no, seriously, great talent on this Battle Royal. Sadly, Sheamus will not appear, boss, because I think they're going to set him up for the Raw after Mania, because we all know that the Raw after Mania, there's been better reactions than ever. As far as my pick, I'm going to agree with Joe and James on this one. I'm going to say Damien Mizdow. I mean, he's ready for the push. If you pay attention to all those crowd reactions, he should have been a face by now, but he's getting booed because of the Miz. So, final 2 will be Miz and Mizdow, and we're going to see Mizdow snap, so my pick is going to be Damien Mizdow, and let's give him that push, WWE. Don't drop the ball now.
All right. Let's move on to, you could call it one of the bigger matches. It would be Bray Wyatt versus The Undertaker. For the past couple of months, Bray Wyatt is trying to push himself as going to be the next Undertaker or the next Face of Fear, so to speak. And while so many people still mark out for The Undertaker, and because, don't get me wrong, I love The Undertaker for years and years and years, but the past couple of years, he's not looked at great. He's turning 50, and I think the man should just really move on. If I really had to pick a winner, I know The Undertaker is just going to win by proxy. Not because he's more talented, not because he's more skillful, not because he's stronger, or just because it's The Undertaker, it's WrestleMania. That's it. And he has to, of course, make up for his big loss at last year to Brock Lesnar. Will, over to you.
We talked about it here on HWR plenty of times, but, you got to give Bray Wyatt his credit, gentlemen. I mean, those vignettes, and, they've been pretty good. He's been impressive. But, wishful thinking, nobody wants to see Taker in the ring. I know Joseph would agree, but for Undertaker to redeem himself would be a whole lot to gain in this moment. So I think Undertaker will get over the Brock Lesnar loss, and he'll beat Bray Wyatt, and then they're going to have some type of big thing going. So I'll stick to Taker for now.
Joe?
If they wanted to do something, it would be Bray Wyatt going over. But, as Will just said, to avenge his WrestleMania loss, to show that he still has it, I could see him beating Bray Wyatt, but Bray Wyatt will just soak it in as he took the beating from the Phenom. Now he's ready to be the next Phenom. So watch Monday night. You're going to see him proclaim himself as the new Phenom because he took it all in. And
really, I would say Bray Wyatt, but I'm gonna go with Undertaker. I feel like really they won't have Undertaker lose 2 in a row.
And Lance,
Taker's got to win. Now Bray will put on a hell of a performance, but just come up just a little bit short. And like Joe said, Monday he was like, I took it all, but I'm still left here, still standing.
Now we're going to move on to a match that I'm personally looking forward to is the IC title ladder match. The people in the match is Stardust, Dolph Ziggler, Luke Harper, Daniel Bryan, Dean Ambrose, R-Truth, and Bad News Barrett who's the IC champion. I'm really tossed between Daniel Bryan winning it, and if he wins it, I say he's going to possibly turn heel. If not, I can still see Bad News Barrett retaining. Because the way they've been playing this hot potato over week after week after week, and now he has to say, nope, see, I'm the champion. I never really lost it, and I should not have lost it, because over the past couple of weeks, it's kind of made him look like a weak champion. Joe, would you agree or disagree?
Yes, I do agree that they're making him look like a champion, but at the same time, I think they need to go with a different route. They need to start looking to do something with that belt instead of playing the hot potato. And right now, that's what they're doing with it. I'm guessing they really don't have a good feel of who should be the champion. Now, everybody in this whole match has won the Intercontinental title at least a couple of times, except for R-Truth. So
there's actually 3 people who hasn't won the title in this one. That's Truth, Ambrose, and Bryan.
Okay, so I stand corrected. I would go with a gut feeling and say it should be, and here it is, it should be Dean Ambrose to at least give him a shot with that belt. So, yeah, I'm going to go on the wild card and say Dean Ambrose.
Lance, your pick.
Well, since this whole thing started with Dean Ambrose stealing the belt, I'm going with the Lunatic Fringe.
All right. And do you think there's any possibility of Daniel Bryan turning heel? The way with what's been going on in the past weeks with Dean Ambrose and Dolph Ziggler calling him a turd, or you think that's just them playing games?
Yeah, he could definitely turn heel even if he doesn't win it.
All right. Will, over to you. Your thoughts?
Well, I've seen enough of the IC title belt hot potato mess. I pretty much know that Bad News Barrett's going to be one pissed off person going into this match, so we all can agree on that. But Lance hit it on the button here. Dean Ambrose basically started everything, and I see him winning it. Now, as far as Daniel Bryan turning heel, that's going to be a needle in a haystack move unless they have something really, really planned out for it. Maybe he hits Ziggler, or maybe Ambrose at the end. I don't know. But I got Ambrose here, but I will keep eyes on Daniel Bryan. Well, hell, we all should.
And James, finally over to you.
This was a hard one. But I'm gonna go. This is basically. I enjoy this match, and I guess I'm one of the few that enjoy the hot potato. But looking at the hot potato, the only person who has not held that championship when it was doing the hot potato was Daniel Bryan. So my pick is Daniel Bryan. And as for turning heel, no. I see if Sheamus returned on the Raw after, he's gonna fight. Sheamus is gonna fight Bryan for that title.
Okay. All right. So let's move over to the John Cena versus Rusev. A lot of people are thinking that John Cena could walk away with the U.S. title. There's a lot of rumors and saying that it's time to make these mid-card titles move up, and they have to do that by having people like John Cena and, of course, Daniel Bryan hold these titles. And it's a very good possibility, but you know what? I'm going to just jump on the wild side for a chance. I'm going to say Rusev is going to retain. Or somehow, one way or another. He may not win the match, but he's going to retain that title until Extreme Rules. That's just going to be my pick. James, I'm going to kick it over to you.
You make a good point about that, but I'm seeing Cena winning, and my reason why I say that is because I feel like Lana could be the one that accidentally costs Rusev the title match.
Will, over to you.
I'm just getting tired of the people saying Rusev Clash, Rusev Smash. Okay, that's enough. If Cena does not win it here, then we all know basically that, Rusev is just very dominant as is, and they'll probably get some legend to beat him up or something, but I'm just going to say Cena should win it. I mean, James did make the logic correct that, if you're on that floor, you'll be basically the one winning. Now, as far as Lana's concerned, we all know she's doing a movie, but if they say, hey, we need you for Mania, and that does happen, then the end of the Rusev Smash will finally happen. We could put the IWC kids to sleep, so I'm going to go Cena.
All right. Joe, over to you.
Everybody makes a valid point of this, especially with the Cena situation. But you know what, guys? We've been through this. How many more times do we have to see Cena walk away from this and be, hey, guess what? It's time for Cena to start giving back something. And in my view of this, the best way to do this is to obviously let Rusev win, and just that's it. He wins, bam. In my opinion, I think they need to start shoving these other guys aside, like Cena, Bryan. While they're good people, they should be now used to elevate others. So, in my opinion, let them be used to elevate others. Let Rusev keep the belt.
Okay. And Lance, over to you.
Beat up on Monday, winner on Sunday, Cena.
Okay. So now we're going to go on to our Divas match. And this is not really a title match. This is Paige versus AJ. This is Paige and AJ versus the Bellas. Now, last week, AJ and Paige had a little mishap. What had happened is Paige was fighting Nikki Bella for the Divas title. The fight had spilled to the outside, and of course, Brie Bella and AJ was fighting. And I guess what had happened is Paige walked up behind AJ. AJ didn't see. Gave her a good solid elbow. Knocks her out. Nikki takes it, capitalizes. Brings her in the ring. Hits her with the rack attack. Gets the win. And this, of course, sours the relationship between AJ and Paige. And the two kind of slugged it out after the match. Now, these two are supposed to be tag team partners. So, nothing's really heavy at stake aside from the Bellas just being able to gloat more. If I had to really make a pick of what's going to happen, I'm going to pick the Bellas. I was going for AJ and Paige, but now I'm guessing it's the Bellas. Joe, over to you.
I'm sorry, I just woke up. We were talking about a Divas match, I see. Oh, wow, yeah. Yes, the Divas. You know what? All the speculation, I've seen it coming. I do not see the battle happening between AJ and Paige right now. I see it escalating on Raw. I can see them being the Roddy Piper and Hulk Hogan when they were forced to team up. They'll coexist, get the win, and they'll explode on Raw. So I know I'm not a big AJ fan, and I'm an okay fan for Paige, but I'm gonna have to go with the 18-year-old and 16-year-old.
All right, Lance, over to you.
Well, my logic in who I choose is, who I pick is AJ and Paige, because while normal, sane female wrestlers, this would start a rift. But let's remember, these two ain't quite right in the head. I say this will bring them closer together in some weird, twisted ass way, and they'll win.
Spoiler for SmackDown: AJ and Paige does get back along to team up again, because basically AJ came out like, I want to be champion and all that stuff, and I want to beat the Bellas, and if Paige wants to help me, then she can. I give her the chance. Paige comes out like, how can I trust you? Basically, AJ's like, you trust me because you and I are the same. We're weird. We're not in the right mind, but we both don't like to lose.
And we both have the same bra size, which is zero.
But anyway, Bella's come out, and the promo. If you watch the promo unedited, if they edited the whole thing, the whole promo, then yeah. But that promo unedited that you see on SmackDown was actually very interesting and good. And basically, the reason why they even did this is because it's hashtag Give Divas a Chance. So AJ and Paige, they both gonna get along for WrestleMania. I think what Joe just said. I think it's like they will team up together, and then they will beat up each other. Because they want to determine who's the number one contender. I could even see Brie costing Nikki the match at WrestleMania. So I'm gonna go with AJ and Paige.
All right. And finally, Will, over to you. Your thoughts.
I'm sorry. I was getting this toilet paper off my shoe. Was there a Divas match y'all talking about?
Unfortunately, yes. It's the tag team, Paige and AJ Bellas.
Can I just wave the white flag and not care? No, I can't do that.
You wave the white toilet paper?
Okay. Focus, people. Nah. Well, I did miss a little bit of Raw, but I can only say that, hey, James made a good point. They'll be somewhere down the road, or maybe this Sunday, Brie will cost Nikki the belt. Because I'm going to be honest with you guys. I mean, not to take it away from Nikki, but I have not been impressed with Nikki since she got the belt. I'm sorry. Let's just give it to AJ and Paige, get over with.
All right. And we would like to welcome in the WrestleGamer, Billy. Billy, we are now covering the Divas match, which is, of course, Paige and AJ versus the Bellas. Billy, what is your pick for this match?
I just survived a battle. Give me a minute.
Did he battle a duck?
No.
He just was forced to watch the Divas match.
No. I survived watching an episode of the Who Dat Temple.
Billy, I'm gonna hurt you.
Focus, people.
Anyway, just right off the bat, I'm just going to go with Agent Lee and Paige. That's all I'm going to say.
Fair enough. All right. Well, now we're going to move on to one of the better matches, which a match I'm personally looking forward to, and that's Triple H versus Sting. In this match, the build-up took a while for it to finally get in because Sting wasn't really making a lot of appearances. He wasn't saying a lot. And then but the past couple of weeks have been really escalating, doing a lot of great stuff. Sting's been coming out and doing some good promos. And his last promo, last Monday on Raw, awesome. So I am myself am getting pumped for this match. And a lot of people want to see Sting versus The Undertaker because it's been like a fantasy match for the past 6 or 7 years. But to be honest with you, Sting is in great condition while The Undertaker is like in like my grandfather's condition where, he needs a walker to come down the ramp. I'm sorry, but it just doesn't work. The promos would have been great, but the match would have sucked. And I'm sorry, people, but that's the truth.
Rick, I hate to interrupt you, but I have some breaking news that I think will be extremely relevant right now to discussion. I just discovered on YouTube that Jerry the King Lawler will not be hosting.
Yeah, we've already talked about that.
Already talked about that.
And you know what? Since we do have a response to that. I believe James has that response.
My response to that report is.
My response would have been a gunshot to the head.
But let's get back to the topic on hand, please, which is Triple H versus Sting. Obviously the pick has got to be the Icon. Now, Triple H, I think, will put on a great match. But if you don't give it to Sting, it just shows the ego of not even but Triple H, but the WWE, because this is WCW versus WWE. But I still think at the end of the day, they know they got to give it to Sting. I really, really do. If not, it's going to have some kind of a shitty ending, but I hope Sting wins clean. Billy, I'm going to kick it over to you.
The build-up in itself speaks for itself. This matchup really doesn't need any build, in my personal opinion. The match at face value, true wrestling historians, true people like us who have grown up during the Attitude Era, during the Monday Night Wars, we know of the history of Triple H in WWE and Sting in WCW. And for years, fans have wanted to see something like this. They wanted to see two faces of two different companies battling it out. And at face value, this matchup speaks for itself. The build just made it that much more interesting to watch. Sting, an icon, a legend, a person for years, has stated that he would never step foot in the WWE and work for Vince McMahon because he did not agree with McMahon's ideology of the business at that time. Actually competing in the biggest event of the year is a huge, momentous event that will happen this Sunday. I'm still not 100% positive that today's wrestling fan understands how iconic this matchup in itself is going to be. When you take two huge names in the wrestling industry, regardless of what anybody else has to say, regardless of anybody else's opinions about how these two guys got to where they've gotten, when you think wrestling and you hear the names Triple H and Sting, you know who these people are. And you take two iconic figures and you put them head-to-head on the single biggest event of the year. And it speaks volumes of what they're going to do at WrestleMania. Now, if they speak volumes and turn out a shitty match, then people will have a right to complain. But knowing the track record and knowing how well these guys have performed in the past and knowing where they are right now in the business, I got a 99.999% chance of this matchup being extremely well good and extremely worth the wait. Now, as far as who I think will go over in this match, I'm just going to flip a coin and say Sting. Just basically because it's Sting's very first WrestleMania and his very first WWE match. This, ladies and gentlemen, is an iconic moment. And I know I've been saying that word over and over again, but when it comes to these two guys, the only adjective that's available to describe it is iconic.
Yeah, I think we all have to agree with you there. Will, over to you.
as Billy sucked up the venture of this damned match,
Sorry.
I'm going to be there firsthand with my $200 ticket, so I'm going to mark out as much as you are.
Hey, me and James went last year, so we know what you're going through.
Yeah, so I'm going this year, and guess what? I got to meet Sting at GameStop. I got proof. The guy's a humble guy. Who would not like a guy like Sting? Sorry I couldn't get the HWR plug-in, but he did say, wrestling fans, I adore you for being with me all this time and everything. Guy's a humble guy. But as far as it's concerned, if Sting does not win here, his legacy would have been for naught. But I'm going to go Sting here, and if Triple H does not put him over, we're going to have a really ugly situation.
Can I just respond very quickly to what Will had to say? If Sting loses at WrestleMania, I don't think that his legacy will be affected, over one match. Even though it is a huge match at WrestleMania, I don't necessarily agree with the fact that if Sting doesn't go over at WrestleMania, then his legacy is thrown down the toilet. I don't believe that will happen.
Yeah, I think that's what we're all in agreement there. I mean, this is obviously one match. One match is not going to make or break your career. Joe, would you agree or disagree?
No, I have to disagree here because this build up for all this time. This is Sting's debut on WrestleMania, the biggest stage, the only stage that he has never been part of. He's been part of the Starrcades, the Great American Bashes, the Clash of the Champions. He's been part of the Super Brawls. This is his first outing, and for his first outing on the grandest stage of them all, to lose, while Triple H, who's been to that same stage multiple times and has won multiple times, for him to lose is a slap in Sting's face. It's like, well, you're just WCW, smack, smack, smack. No. Triple H can afford to lose. He can afford to lose because he's been there. No, they need to let Sting win. And I'm truly guessing that this is going to be something that he is part of his agreement. Hey, if I'm going to go in this match, I'm winning. Because you're not going to sucker me all into this for just to get slapped around and beaten down. So you can put your boot in my chest. No. It has to be it has to be a win. It won't probably be a clean. It'll probably be such a marred win that Stephanie will get involved, the Authority will get involved, but Sting will win. And then they could continue with this too. Rick, we brought up this scenario once before. If it came down to the Authority getting involved, there's one other person that can help Sting in this case, and that's Booker T, who Triple H also did something to.
Oh, yeah.
So imagine if Sting's in trouble, Booker T comes in, the two legends of WCW will unite to help out each other and win.
Mm. Yeah, and that would make the perfect sense. But I think at the end of the day, I hope it doesn't become, like you said, that kind of a marred victory where all the, the Authority jumps in. I hope this becomes just a one-on-one fight. Lance, over to you.
Well, Grant, I think Sting has to win. But after that, I have my second prop bet of the night. So, James, whoever has the later match of these two, the other Sting is either going to come out and challenge the Undertaker in some weird way, or vice versa. So next year's match is going to happen, whether it be good or not. The build up for Sting Taker starts at 31.
A lot of rumors going around YouTube right now is that the Undertaker versus Bray Wyatt match will be Undertaker's last match of his career.
You know what? I'm going to be honest with you. I hope it is, because he's not looked that great, but I've heard rumors that Undertaker's going to come out in the Raw after WrestleMania 31 and challenge Sting. There's been so many rumors, but the truth is, you don't know it until it actually happens.
Yeah.
And I think, again, it's just people pulling shit out of their ass. And here at HWR, we don't make rumors. We just tell you the rumors of what we read.
However, those current puns, and according to my current situation that are survived, exactly don't go hand in hand.
Well, let's move on. I'm sorry, no, James. James, I do apologize. I didn't forget. I almost forgot you, but I
Pass the
didn't.
Pepto.
Yeah.
I just
Your
woke
thoughts.
up from Billy's long talk. I apologize.
Hey.
You took long. Anyway, my pick has to be Sting. I agree with everybody. It's that why would you bring Sting in to have him lose to Triple H? It does not make sense. So I'm going to go with Sting on this one.
Yeah, and you know what? I know if the son of a bitch was here, he would say it would make sense because the WWE loves beating the shit out of WCW over and over again, saying, ha, 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 you lost. And he would probably go with Triple H just on that simple point. And I do, and many, many times I do agree with him, but I think this one time they're going to give Sting the win. But that's, we're going to move on to the Randy Orton versus Seth Rollins match. And we all know this history on this match is how Seth Rollins curb stomped Randy Orton on the steel steps. He was out, which to go make a movie. He comes back, and there was that unsettling bringing back Randy Orton into the Authority, and then, of course, Randy Orton attacks him. So, who do I see winning in this match? This one, for me, is another what I call the coin tosser. Because if you go really either way, if I could see Seth Rollins winning this match, and I can also see him losing this match, but it all happens with the main event, how they really want to spin the main event. But if I'm just going to go with that, I'll say Seth Rollins could possibly win this match. I'll just leave it at that. So, Billy, I'll put it over to you.
James, prop bet. Seth Rollins with the help of J&J Security.
Okay.
Since I'm put someone to sleep with my commentary, I'm just going to keep it like that.
That works. James, over to you.
Great riveting commentary, James.
I'm going to go Orton on this one because I feel like really, JJ Security will interfere, but I think this one's a hard one. I'm just going to say that. That's all I'm going to say.
All right, fair enough.
I want to keep it short and sweet and doing some Dead Space 3 gameplay recording this morning, and I threw up a lung about once or twice.
Oh, sheesh.
Damn.
Well, we hope you're feeling better. Lance, over to you, your pick.
Well, because I see the Authority breaking up sometime soon, because, well, it's been almost like 2 years. That's too daggum long. So, I'm going with the Viper, Randy Orton.
All right. Will, your thoughts?
I don't know how I'm going to say this, but Orton's going to win. J&J Security is going to make minimal effort to try to interfere, quote, try to. And Orton will cast revenge, and he may RKO Seth Rollins, put his head through that briefcase and say, you want to curb stomp me through my case? How about RKO your head through the case? So I'll say Orton. And J&J Security won't even play a factor, not even a little bit.
And Joe, over to you.
Well, you know what? Everybody's made some valid points, but here's mine. It's going to surprise you. Seth Rollins is going to win. And now here's my reason, and mark this down. First of all, Randy Orton's going to totally eliminate his little buddies. He's going to get rid of the security out of the way. What's going to happen is if Seth Rollins wins, and I'm going to put it this way, this is the scenario I build up. If he wins, then expect him to cash in at the end of the night. If not Monday Night Raw, but it will make better sense if he cashed in that night on WrestleMania. Reason I say that, if he cashes in, once Roman Reigns wins that title, and that's my opinion, I feel he's going to do it. If he does, Seth Rollins will cash in. He'll hand the referee the briefcase. The referee will take it, go to give it to the timekeeper. While that little thing is going, Randy Orton comes in, gets his measure of revenge, RKO's Seth Rollins. Reigns turns around, okay, and pinned him. Now you eliminate this person from having the briefcase on him, the Money in the Bank briefcase. Now it's free for somebody else, and at the same time he got spanked for being doing his little sexy selfie. So Seth Rollins, guys.
All right. Well, I'm going to move on to our main event, and that's pretty much where I was getting at, and that's why I was tossed up between the Orton-Seth Rollins match, because it goes either way, because if Rollins, wins the match, Randy Orton still wants to be, has some vendetta against Rollins, so if he goes to try to cash in, Orton, whoever wins the main event would try to stop Rollins from cashing in, and then their feud would continue. So I want to move on to the Brock Lesnar-Roman Reigns main event, and I'm going to tell you right now, I heard all the rumors about Brock Lesnar re-signing. We've heard the rumors of Brock Lesnar possibly continuing holding on that world title. Blah, 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 blah. That's what I say about those rumors. If you ask me, Roman Reigns is going to retain. If by chance that Brock Lesnar retains that title, I'm going to be absolutely livid. I will have no desire to watch WWE product at all. Roman Reigns should be our new champion at the end of WrestleMania. As far as Seth Rollins doing a successful cash-in, I'm expecting Seth Rollins to get squashed. And just for a note, Seth Rollins must cash in at WrestleMania 31. That is the deadline. Otherwise, he loses the briefcase.
No. He still got to the Money in the Bank pay-per-view.
I thought it was until WrestleMania.
Nope. 1 year.
Oh, okay. So he might not even cash in then. It's okay. Because Ashley told us it was by WrestleMania.
Nope.
Okay. So with that, then it's not even if he will. It's will he have successful? Will he then? So let's. Billy, what's your thoughts?
Yeah, the probability of Seth Rollins cashing in on whoever the winner is, I would think probably would have something to do with relating to if he wins or not against Randy Orton. It's really a very tough decision and a very tough thing to call as to whether or not Rollins will actually cash in. A lot of people, I believe it was 1 or 2 years ago, they were expecting Dolph Ziggler to cash in his Money in the Bank briefcase at WrestleMania, and he didn't end up doing it until the night after WrestleMania on Alberto Del Rio, if fans actually can recall that. So it's not necessarily WrestleMania the environment to cash in a Money in the Bank briefcase. Now, would it be expected? I want to say probably anywhere between 60 to 85% chance of that happening. And it really, like I said, all depends on the outcome of Randy Orton and Seth Rollins, in my opinion. Now, people for months, ever since the Royal Rumble, they have just crapped all over the WrestleMania main event. They have crapped all over Roman Reigns. I myself have done it to Brock Lesnar because apparently people think that this guy is the best thing to happen to wrestling. He's the greatest superstar of all time. He cuts great promos, according to one person on YouTube who follows me constantly, calling me a Lesnar hater, and by that he is right. And I just don't understand the hype people have against Brock Lesnar. I'm not saying the guy is a bad in-ring performer. He has only 4 moves, and he pretty much sells like a biatch, in my opinion. Now, for him to be in the main event at WrestleMania, if he pulls the same kind of performance he did last year, then I think personally that would be a good reason to have a vendetta against Brock Lesnar and WWE for putting on such a crap match on your biggest event of the year. Now, as far as who would win this match, before the reports of Lesnar re-signing with WWE, my money was on Roman Reigns. And now after the reports, my money is still on Roman Reigns. But the unknown, the real unknown in this, ladies and gentlemen, is whether or not Seth Rollins will actually cash in on whoever wins this. That is the thing to think about. Will they pull the trigger at the end of the main event at WrestleMania this year? It's still yet to be determined. The only way to find out is to wait till Sunday.
And exactly, that's always been the thing. That's always the one thing to keep people in suspense of. Joe, your thoughts?
You know what? I have to go also with Seth Rollins. Seth Rollins. Look at that. I'm thinking the wrong person again. You have to go with Roman Reigns. And the reason I go with Roman Reigns is, one, It's time. It is time to take the belt off of Brock. But it's gonna if you see at the beginning of the match that Reigns is getting the beating and he looks like he's just getting killed in that ring, then the outcome is so predictable as well. It's just going to be another one of those, recover, come back, Superman punch, spear, and that's it. Which I don't want to see. I'd rather see Roman Reigns say, you know what, I better go out and fight this guy first. Let me take it to him. This what will make the match interesting. If Roman Reigns was the aggressor, not Brock Lesnar. If Roman Reigns was the aggressor,
absolutely,
and he went and took it out on him, then you could see Brock play it off like, oh man, I'm gonna fight on a different level now. This is what's gonna make the match for me. If I don't see the match being done this way, then it's gonna be a waste. And I also heard the rumors, Brock has signed a new contract where he is expecting to, he just signed it. They'll let him keep the belt. If they did all this build up just for him to keep the belt, I think it'd be wrong on his part because he can always come back and regain it again.
Let me say this. Seeing 16 German suplexes at the main event of SummerSlam is one thing. You see it on the biggest event of the year. And that is just poor decision-making by WWE and WWE Creative.
Absolutely. That's why I say it has to be, okay, maybe forced German suplexes, but it has to, if it doesn't start off, and that's going to be that first few minutes, if Reigns doesn't get in there and start the match off as the aggressor and start taking over the match and can hold the match on for a while, that's going to be the big decision. That's going to be the point where everybody's going to be, and then expect The Rock to come down. He'll probably come down to support Reigns. So there's the other factor. See, we got two factors here. It's the Rock factor, which is if Vince can keep The Rock happy, he can keep bringing him back. He just did a contract with Lesnar. Maybe the final moments with Lesnar was like, well, I'll sign because Dana White wants me over here. I'll sign if you let me keep the title. Those are two factors that are really balancing in my mind. But if it depends on the opening minutes. If Reigns takes in that few minutes of fighting and he brings it, then it's going to be interesting for me.
All right, James, your pick.
Really, this one would be hard because of the new deal. But I'm going to go with Roman Reigns. I'm going to keep it at Reigns. And really, I'm going to say Seth Rollins cashed in, but he fails. So,
all right.
Really, people talks about, just more talks like, Brock Lesnar wants to keep the title. That's why he signed a new deal and whatnot. That's not going to happen. Roman Reigns, WWE is not going to change their mind. You got to keep Roman Reigns as champion. Or have Roman Reigns become champion.
Lance, over to you.
Well, this is hard, honestly. Because on one hand, I could see Brock Lesnar having it in his contract to keep the belt. But then again, I could also see Roman win and get cashed in on and lose, and it carry him and Seth on for at least till SummerSlam or even Survivor Series. So my gut says my gut says Brock, but my head says Roman with the cash in from Seth. So I'm going Roman. I'm going Roman with a successful cash in.
All right, finally, Will, over to you.
And after all that, I'm coming back from the concession stand, buying a $10 thing of nachos and a $5 soda. What the fuck is this? Seth Rollins cashed in and failed. Let me drop the $15 I just wasted. Yeah, I did say Reigns, and James got my pick throughout the months. And, like Joe said, there's a chance Paul Heyman The Rock coming back, and then, maybe Paul Heyman may have something to do with it. I mean, if that's true, we got to look at it from both angles here, who's going to make the move, but I mean, who would have think that Brock would actually sign a contract to stay, so that complicates things. But I'm still going to stay with Reigns only because, I just think that if this is not the match for him to win, maybe somewhere down the road, but Reigns should win it here. And James, you could put this on note too as my prop bet. Rollins fails so bad, his body flops.
Well, now we want to know, what do you guys think? What are your picks? So make sure you put your comments in the comments section below. And, of course, please subscribe to us over at youtube.com/HWR show. And always follow us over at facebook.com/Hardcore Wrestling Radio. We always want to thank Billy Bujo for hanging out with us. You can find him over at WGSTV. Billy, what do you got going on?
Well, I don't know if I want to say if I put James to sleep whenever I talk. But anyway, guys and gals, you can check out all my Let's Plays currently right now doing Dead Space 3, which basically I've had the poop scared out of me, which is why I was so much enriched in that battle before I got here. I've also got Honey Pot going. For some reason, people seem to like that. I don't know why. It's just really curious. And Lance and James actually know what I'm talking about. And and I'm also doing Dying Light off the Xbox One, so be sure you guys tune in for that.
All right. And, of course, we have the incomparable Lance Moss, and you can find him over at youtube.com/LanceMossTV. Lance, what do you got going on?
I got album reviews, NASCAR discussion videos, redneck on cooking videos, musical equipment reviews, the archives of controversies and scandals. I got some rants. Also, check me out on Twitter. It's at LanceMossTV.
Also, we have the HWR tag team. First, he's the Bay Area MVP, known as Will, and he's got his tag team partner, James from the Big Easy. Will, what do you got going on?
Is that what y'all did in the basement?
What the hell did you just say?
Is that what you did in the basement?
Back to your crock pot video game, sucker. Anyway, you can find me everywhere on HWR. And sorry, folks, this week we did not have in the news due to time conflictions. So we will be back on next week with probably after WrestleMania thoughts and what went down. So next week's in the news will probably be post WrestleMania, after WrestleMania. There's the Raw thing that always happens. So stay tuned for that one.
And I am on twitch.tv/fatboy504 where we do PS4 gameplay, youtube.com/JTD70129 with random videos. And you can find us on the Hardcore Wrestling Facebook page and WGSTV Facebook page.
We have the classic wrestling manager, Joseph Knight. Joe, where can everyone find you? And, of course, what do you got going on?
Well, you can find me on Facebook.com under Joseph Knight Manager, and you can also find me under Facebook.com at Classic Wrestling Association. We're giving up for our April 25th show in Paterson, New Jersey. So I'll be posting up a whole bunch of new pictures and a big flyer and posters, everything that you fans need to know. You can also find us on our website at ClassicWrestlingAssociation.com. So just keep following us there.
All right. And once again, we want to thank you for viewing us. And for everyone here, I'm your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.
The great Isaac Clarke once said, if you see a necromorph coming at you, the appropriate response, that is some good weed.
Thank you for listening to this edition of In the Moment. Make sure you follow us at any one of our locations, whether it's YouTube, Dailymotion, and now SoundCloud.com under the name HWR Show. Until the next time, this is your hardcore host, Rick Head, saying we'll see you when we see you.